a breakup. Me.
Actually, in thinking out loud, because we'll need to figure this out at some point before we stop recording, what's a word that starts with D that means bad sexual politics? Because that's going to be the unifying theme tonight, I'm sure.
You're presuming a level of like forethought and thinking and nuance that we just don't have. Like we go to the end of the podcast and we're like, shit, what the fuck do we do now?
Yeah, we're all partially educated, and this is the best we can do with ourselves. Jesus. Should I pick that letter now, or is that like a cliffhanger?
No.
That we'll slowly work our way
surprise
towards?
us. My only request is it cannot be X or Z. That's my one request.
Cannot be X or Z.
Fuck you. I'm denying Sam's request. If you wanted to be X or Z, it's on you, Chris.
Depends on how nicely you treat this movie that I probably shouldn't like.
It'll be a short season. What's your problem? I'm good with that.
I'm all about efficiency. Well, why do we get this? Why do we get this road on the show?
Yeah, let's talk about how wrong Sam is about death grips.
I feel attacked in my own home.
No, Death Grips is great. You
podcast.
Listen to it. You get on the road. You go for a jog, and you can like wear your nice neon jogging pants and have your like nice neon jogging like wristband with your phone in it, and you can be like really fucking bummed all the time.
See, I could see in that context how that would work.
You look as yuppie as possible. You get like the full sweater vest going on, and then you suddenly find yourself like halfway through the jog, screaming out "Guillotine!"
Yeah, no, I'm not even being ironic. I'm just being like, look, if you need to like lift some heavy things above your head, or if you need to run like 5K, and you want to just have like adrenaline coursing through your veins like battery acid, just like put that right in. It's a performance enhancing drug.
If you are suddenly in
music.
a fight or attacked by a bear, just put on the Fever AA.
Oh God, I just want to start quoting lyrics from Clink right now.
I've been piled up on my own podcast. All right, welcome to anyone still listening to the Breakup podcast, but destroying things you love by giving them away. Tonight, my co-host Jacob and I are joined by a friend of the podcast, an early adopter of the podcast, Mr. Chris Felling.
Hey, so that means I like have been working the bugs out on it and like slowly complaining over the internet for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You're a beta tester.
We're fine-tuning this thing all the time.
With all of the lack of payment and the free bagels that comes with that title.
Yeah, this is pretty good, but when's the podcast going to get a crafting system?
Little did they know they're releasing Breakup the RPG, which is literally all crafting system. There is actually nothing beyond that.
There is no role playing. There is no combat. It's just one crafting system to craft everything.
One crafting system under God.
So we took the R and the P out. It's just a G.
Absolutely.
That wasn't a good one. We can remove that in post.
So today on the program, we have kind of a unique circumstances for the podcast. Chris has graciously offered us a piece of fine media for Jacob and I to consume, and we in turn have offered him our own piece of media that we can arguably say that we like. So Chris, you're the guest on the show. You can decide who gets to go first. Would you like to expound on the virtues or vices of He Died with a Falafel in His Hand, or would you like us to rag on Golgo 13 first?
Why don't I start? Because whatever I have to say will become immediately funnier after everything you guys have to say.
Sounds like a plan. All right. Well, let's talk.
I agree with that.
All right. Let's talk about He Died with a Falafel in His Hand.
So I really wanted to like this movie.
Yes. This is. Oh, I'm looking.
I really wanted to like this movie, but so much about it aggravated me. So, like, I guess I'll summarize it. So, He Died with a Falafel in His Hand is a movie about some Australians and about one Australian in particular. And he's a sensitive artist who writes for a pornographic magazine. But that's not a major plot. That just kind of comes to bookend everything real nice.
Yeah, that just kind of is, yeah.
Yeah, so the important major plot points are he lives in a variety of houses and resents a bunch of people for having more and better sex than he does. And constantly kind of goes around like being like the comedic straight man, but in a way that's way less sympathetic than that usually is.
Poor Noah Taylor.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, and like I really did want to like this movie because there's like some neat stuff, like especially like right off the bat.
Yeah,
okay, so we open up. There's almost no dialogue. We're right into it. The fellow who dies with a falafel in his hand is dead.
Oh, spoilers.
And right, well, no, he's dead. He's just there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Look,
it's right in the title.
Exactly, like what it says on the tin, my friend. And then we immediately flash back, and we hit a cane toad, which is the most Australian thing since like. Fuck, what's that song? Since Waltzing Matilda.
Oh, yes.
We hit it with a golf club, and so I am already primed to really like this.
You're pumped up. You're ready to go.
You're set in gear. You're ready for the rest of the movie to be exactly like this.
Then we immediately like switch gears into like a bunch of guys who look like a bunch of like rejects from B44.
They do look very Australian is the nice way of describing it.
I guess, but then they like start talking about masturbating and
how many times can a man orgasm before he's dry? Absolutely.
Yes.
Chris, could you tell us the science behind this? It's a very important plot point.
Oh shit, I didn't take notes on that part. I know I was going to be tested.
This is the problem.
It's like being a Buddhist, is you have like only so much breath in you. I don't know.
That's a good comparison.
And like the film took a turn for the worse, like really quick, because the protagonist is a writer, and that's usually like an immediate warning sign that this is going to get like really self-indulgent.
Yeah.
And like, I was this asshole. That's why I dislike him. Yeah. Like, I had the exact same edition and copy of fucking Being in Nothingness, and amazing. I didn't fucking read it either.
Amazing.
I didn't read it either. and the plot gets complicated by, like, a goth girl moves in, and they all want to have, like, a goth girlfriend because blokes got to stick together or whatever, and they need penthouse money to pay rent. And there's a nicer, more normal young lady named Sammy who's like the most sympathetic person in this entire film and is just treated like garbage.
Oh, yeah.
At every possible turn. And like, oh god, and it's so fucking infuriating because like I get it, like this is a film and there's a writer protagonist, so inexplicably she wants to fuck him because that will advance the plot. And like a bunch of philosophy comes out of the goth girl, men are bastards, he says, and that got him laid.
There's some stuff about DS9 in there, interestingly enough. Which
oh yeah, shit, I forgot about that.
I love that
DS9,
bit.
So that there's Nazis for some reason. That's how we close out one.
I was gonna say,
and they saw off the side of the house, and that was real cool.
I was gonna say that not to interrupt your shellacking, but that's probably my favorite part of the movie is when the pagans and the Nazis start singing "Tomorrow Belongs to Me."
Right, because the goth girlfriend is gonna sacrifice one of the roommates.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
But then the movie kind of just goes from there as he switches houses a couple of times, and these people kind of keep re-entering his life, and their lives, which we see primarily like off camera or like through dialogue, are all way more interesting than his is. Including my absolute favorite. So this is the neat part. So we come into Act 2, and Sammy and the goth girl, whose name I don't remember,
does not matter,
have been in a relationship, and that relationship has come to an end because this goth girl is like, I can't actually have relationships for a bunch of like really like intro level philosophy reasons.
Reasons that actually don't make any sense.
Yeah, and Sammy comes back into this protagonist's life, and she's like utterly destroyed, and she has this excellent short kind of monologue where she is just kind of like completely frazzled because this relationship that she really valued but that her girlfriend didn't has come to an end, and it's come to an end because everything to her significant other seems so cliche.
How do you have an orgasm? That doesn't sound like a cliche.
Yes, and I think like how do you say like I love you without sounding like a cliche? And that actually struck me as really profound.
Yeah.
Right.
But like, that's all juxtaposed with I forget the guy's name, this sort of burly dude being like, okay, do I look under E for escort or P for prostitute? Which one of those?
Oh yeah. No, but like that's kind of I didn't mind that because it was kind of like a neat juxtaposition. But what I did mind is our hero immediately using this as like a way of getting her into bed. At which point she attempts to kill herself in the bathtub,
which does lead to the amazing line about like why do people always choose Nick Cave at 2 a.m. or something. I can't remember how it goes.
Yeah, he does not give a fuck. He does not give a fuck about her. He does not give a fuck about anything. Like he's just missing a fuzzy hat and like a creative pseudonym. Like, oh god, fuck this guy, man. And it gets even worse. It gets even worse because in Act 3, he's moved in with this extremely neurotic, abused woman.
Yeah.
And her closeted, but like this is like a closet with a glass door boyfriend. And like the climax of this entire film comes where, or like what I take to be kind of like the emotional climax of this, where they're all watching TV and the new roommate, she's like constantly going off on why no one is appreciating her problems, which include, I think, like, if I'm remembering right, like, okay, let me just check my notes. Oh yeah, okay, so she's been sexually assaulted and she has an eating disorder and her parents are divorcing and making her testify in court. And dude, I was in family litigation. That's fucked up.
Oh god.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot.
And
he's a lawyer. He's gonna rip us apart, J-Cube.
No, and then her boyfriend comes in and he comes out of the closet. Mm-hmm. And then our protagonist goes off on him because he's not thinking enough about how other people have real problems.
Here's the thing. Jacob Waskow has actually quoted that speech where he goes off on that guy line for line in a role-playing game session on a person that he did not particularly like in real life.
Oh, and P.S. Like I forgot. I need to back up like just a sec. Is the reason that our protagonist is like so I guess like in the fiction of this film, like righteously in scare quotes upset, is because Sammy, who of course came back again, gets mad at him for having sex with her girlfriend who she's inexplicably back with.
Well, they didn't have sex, they just like kissed. That was the other thing.
Whatever. Like the important thing is like he's sitting in his room and like listening to them go at it, and he's like acting like this is like personal and like they're just doing this because that's that could be. And it's just like, dude, fucking go watch a movie.
Go jerk off. Just
go. Just like get yourself like a nice meal out. Just fucking enjoy.
And like Sammy, of course, tells him off, and rightly so. And she's like, "Your life shit because you're shit." That's what it boils down to. And I'm like, "Fucking preach!" I love it.
Preach,
and then
girl.
she leaves. And then what's his name dies because he uses heroin, and like his life is, I'm sure, way more interesting than our protagonist's again.
But
and
they do play that the Strangler song, which is excellent.
Yeah,
golden brown.
And then everyone comes back and burns some shit, and then he and Sammy get married because of course that's where you need to go. And like, I really wanted to like this movie because like there's some like successors that I think, or not successors, like there's some family resemblances it has to like other films, like in this kind of like artist figuring himself out, like punky kind of thing. Like there's bits and pieces of like Train Spotting in this.
Yeah,
it feels a lot like
Train Spotting is a much
Punk.
better movie, actually. And I love.
And so was SLC Punk. Watch SLC Punk. Like fucking Heroin Bob is way better than any of these people. and people get called out on their bullshit in SLC Punk. I love it. But just all the way through this film, like for every like really good and meaningful moment that a secondary character had, there's this guy who's just like funny. Oh my god, it's just like that guy plays acoustic guitar at a party.
It's It's funny. Jacob, can you tell the story of how you came across this movie?
Because you guys like this movie.
Yeah, we do.
We do. With the prep.
That's the premise of the show, is you're making me watch it because you think there's some value in me doing it.
Yeah, there's... And we still maintain that, or at least that's what I'm going to stick to. Jacob
no,
may turn code on me.
I'm not going to change my mind just shallowly. I still have you for Death Grip, Sam. There are two main stories associated with my history with He Died with a Falafel in His Hand. The first was, I think I was about 12 years old when I first watched He Died with a Falafel in His Hand, which is an age you probably shouldn't watch that movie at, for reasons I'm going to get into later.
It's like how all those people watch Fight Club and now they're way into Pepe now.
That's personal.
Jacob has written papers on that.
I literally wrote a goddamn paper about that. But it's fucking I'm fucking 12 years old. My godfather is in town, and it's still that halcyon age where you have to go to the video store to get videos. So we're at goddamn Blockbuster trying to figure out, okay, what is one movie that we could all watch together that no one's gonna just quietly kill each other. And so I saw this thing literally titled He Died with a Falafel in His Hand. And I picked up the case and I looked to my mother. We gotta try this. And everyone...
You tried heroin for the first time.
And everyone looked at it and they were like, yeah, I'm really curious. I managed to catch...
Well, it has that kind of real nice punchy appeal, like that book John Dies at the end, where I'm just like,
yeah, tell me more.
Okay, let's do this. I'm on board.
I mean, it's a hell of a title.
And they make a big deal of it. The title card is great. It's like, he, hand, falafel, died.
And you can imagine how great it was being 12, watching that, overheard sex scene with my old 50-year-old lesbian mom and my two gay godfathers, just all of us sort of sitting in stoic silence, waiting for it to continue. So this movie left just an incredible impression on my mind, flabbergasted as I was. And eventually, years later, a decade later, I'm with Sam and gang, and I say, hey, there's this movie I want to show you guys. And our good friend Eli, we invited them along as well to watch this thing. And so we all sit through it. We all sit through the same experience. And Sam, you're about to say how much you liked that experience too. And then the movie ends. And Eli looks to me with a sort of quizzical, that sort of glint in their eyes of there's this burning question. So, Jacob, when did you watch this movie? Oh, I was really young. Yeah. Did you want to grow up to be Noah Taylor? Was that your life goal, was to wind up like him? Or was it or were you a smart child and realized that was a warning?
Well, he's got great fucking hair.
And I turned to Eli and I said, shut up, leave me alone. Stop being mean. Why are you so mean?
I mean, I don't have the excuse that Jacob has that he saw it when he was 12, but I saw it when I was 25. So I can't really defend it when you put it that way, Chris. This movie has some problems, but I think as has kind of been evinced, if you've listened to this podcast all the way through, the theme kind of tends to be, if I'm picking up what it's putting down, I tend to overlook some of the problems.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, and spoiler alert, we're going to talk about fucking Golgo 13.
Sorry. The correct title is Cinematic Masterpiece Golgo 13, The Professional. That's its full title in this camp, I tell you what.
The Professional.
Well, what's interesting about this film is that a friend of the podcast, Megan Robinson, who is known to all of us, has watched this movie and sort of said, yeah, this is my life. But mostly because of the weird shared housing, cavalcade of rotating door roommates.
Well, and that's a neat premise. And apparently in the book, which I have not read, but which I read the Wikipedia article about that, is people are not amalgamated. And it's also apparently a memoir. So if you wanted to give the guy a little longer leash, it's okay. Yeah. Maybe he lived this way.
Yeah.
I get, and it's witty and it's neat and there's lots of kind of cool stuff, but I guess for me it's look, if you want to give me someone to root for because you're casting them as a good person, and then go the extra mile and make them
go
a good
that
person.
extra 110%. Make them a decent human being. It's not too hard. Just please.
Like, I like Garden State because, like, I'm a mopey piece of shit. No, I fucking love Garden State. I think Garden State's a great movie. It's dumb, but I love it. It gives me all sorts of feelings.
Yeah.
But I don't think, like, there's anything, like, questionable there, right? Like, I don't think, like, Natalie Portman, like, stood in one place for the first time any human being ever stood in a place and then, like, attempted to die. And then Zach Braff took advantage of that. That would have been a very different movie.
Indeed it would have. Is that that's one of the canonical Manic Pixie Dream Girl movies, isn't it? That's
absolutely. Like that is basically like that's. Was this before or after that?
I think Falafel did. I think it's like late 90s,
early 2000s.
Garden State's like kind of early 2000s. Yeah, that I want to say that.
So are we going on the record now saying like Garden State ripped this movie off?
Listen, this is not a political podcast because, as you know, Chris, media can't be political, and we're not going to make such a
I don't even know what that's implying.
Horrific claim as that. No can do. No can do.
I mean, you heard the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like there's a lot of good in it. Like I'm so into the wittiness of it, and it does seduce you a bit with the way the dialogue comes off, and you are right. All the side characters are really interesting, and he's not. I think maybe I kind of like that.
That's my thing
the
too.
Protagonist kind of sucks.
I do not think you have to even remotely like your protagonist, especially in He Died in the Falafel with a falafel in his hand. It's just like, my favorite lines are actually from Flip, the inevitable person who dies.
The titular character.
Oh yeah, that's his name. Yeah. An albino who sunbathes beneath the moon. Because everyone needs quirks.
But with Flip, like, I think my favorite bit from that movie is it's literally two parts. It's when we suddenly discover, oh man, Flip has a fucking heroin problem with those cops in the second act, and he looks to Danny. He goes, "Oh, don't worry, my mom has me like sort of set up to go to like one of those camps where they have you like make your own bed and stuff. It's great." And then when he shows up in the third act, he's like, "I have no idea by make your own bed they meant like with twigs and shit, Danny." I had to get out.
Well, and that's kind of interesting because I think the film has more sympathy for Flip than like for other side characters. Like he's like, it's really touching the way they deal with him.
Yeah, it is actually. I was gonna say that I've always been really weirded out by the Orwellian fucking cops in this movie. I think I like either the director or the guy who wrote the book must have really fucking hated cops, because like I've never seen a less like flattering portrayal of police officers in a film.
You're about to have your civil liberties violated, Danny.
Oh God, I loved that. That was such a good speech. And then they just fucking blow off somebody's ear after they make him piss himself in a hallway.
Yeah.
Fuck, son.
So Chris, I mean, the question is, I think a mixed review from you. Would you recommend this movie? Would you, is there enough in there for you to say someone to try this out?
Yeah, sure. Like this, it was an afternoon well spent. Like, and you don't have to like agree with the movie to like it.
No,
and I think it was neat for me actually to go back. Because, like, well, and, for the folks at home, like, who don't know us all personally, like, I was at University of Victoria, like, when Sam was, and, like, I was in a writing program, I was an artist with a day job, that kind of stuff. So it was neat, now that I'm not really one of those anymore, to kind of look back on, like, that kind of stock character that I was. Like in my early 20s.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's an uncomfortable mirror, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and like you got to do that sometimes. It's healthy. Yeah. So I actually like, for all the times that it got my blood a little boiling, like I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would watch it again, but go for it.
It's such an obscure movie too. Like for the audience, I had to track this movie down. Like there is no legal way of obtaining this film in Canada. Stupid. Like it is not known.
So ridiculous.
For everyone's edification, before any Twitter wars start, Garden State is 2004. So yes, it did indeed rip off He Died with a Falafel in his hand.
That explains all the cane toads.
Jesus
fucking
Christ,
Zach Braff, man.
Look, if you want to rag on me more, I genuinely like Garden State. I like watching it. I like the music in it. I like the way that it's shot. I like most of the direction. I think that there's some parts about the love story in it that are really sweet. And I like the way that it ends.
That's between you and God, man. That's not for us to judge.
That's to you and your maker, good sir.
Quite admittedly, I've only seen Garden State like once, and when it first came out, and I kind of liked it. So there you go. I'm on the same road to hell. But on that note, why don't we move on to our next feature?
Yeah, give me a sec. I'm gonna get another drink for this.
We watched cinematic masterpiece Golgo 13: The Professional. That is the full title of the goddamn movie, Sam.
Well, it helps you distinguish it from the other pieces of intellectual property.
Now, I think to preface this, before we even dig into this, we watched it and we had our own sort of emotional response to Golgo 13. And I mentioned in passing to one of my many friends, hey, I just watched Golgo 13: The Professional. And they went, oh, that's like actual Golgo 13 is actually really good. To which I shared this with Sam, and we both, through non-physical communication, kind of rolled our eyes at each other, and I went, do tell, go on.
Yeah.
And it was the discovery of it
internet
being listed as like the 5th or the 2nd most popular manga anime thing of all time, being Golgo 13. It's a deeply...
Holy shit.
It's a deeply
Yeah, that shocked me.
inspiring piece of media that we watch, Sam, and I don't want you to shit all over that with your feelings.
Can we just like cut like straight to the case? Like give me like a top 3. Like where's like rock bottom and like digging deeper and then blowing a fucking hole of dynamite and you get swept away in an underground river.
Well, I think that
Is it the helicopters?
is it the helicopter?
Okay. I gotta let me try to summarize this piece of art. So basically, there's a seagull man, and he is taking out a hit on the vice president of Nova Scotia, and then there's some CGI helicopters and a character from Berserk, and then
Which
it ends.
character in particular? I
You know what I'm talking about.
no, I didn't. No, we did not clear this summary before you just gave it.
This is an unauthorized summary.
Yeah, what fucking character? Lay it on me.
Well, it's the Snake Man.
Oh God. Okay. All right. I regret asking.
So I like Golgo 13 for the folks at home who do not know what this treasure is like an anime attempt at being James Bond, but like he kills way more people.
And like James Bond is suave, and this guy is basically like
He's also just generally a terrible human being.
I'm not sure. Like, well, and like that's declared at the end of the film. It's just like you're a piece of shit.
He's a piece of fucking shit.
Yeah, like in a more elegant way. Like the antagonist is like, "You're a horrible monster. Okay, bye."
Here's my counter to that. Basically, the main theory me and Sam had watching this movie was that Golgo 13 isn't actually a human being. This is a collection of seagulls that coalesce into a singular wooden mannequin-esque shape. So, like, you keep saying that, oh man, he's a monster. Golgo 13 doesn't know morality. Golgo 13 doesn't understand this human emotion you call empathy. Golgo 13 just kill.
He was more bird than man.
He goes straight killer all up on you people. So when I say he's a bad human being, I don't mean that in that, oh, he's a human being who is terrible. I mean, he is bad at the act of being human. He cannot
bad pretending.
He can't express emotion. He can't express movement, as far as I can tell.
Yep.
Beyond just like, because most of the animation is just him being in an action pose while everything else moves.
Or scowling.
He is a weird. This is the most fantastical manga anime thing I've ever watched, and I mean, I fucking was all up on the Naruto chain. Like this is the least believable thing
Oh man,
I've ever seen.
I will say that this movie gets both an A+ and an F- from me, which is a very difficult grade to get.
That is interesting. An A+ for what? Because effort is probably not one of them. Except in a few places.
I think you know what the F- is for.
I know exactly what the F- is for.
This is like I razzed Jacob about giving me problematic media, but oh boy,
you make me look like a fucking saint.
Well, because I remember
Thank you so much.
I remember like because I sat down and rewatched it, and like this is like a movie that like what like I would put on like in the background because like it's totally vaporwave, and like I sat down and rewatched it, and I was discussing over Discord with Sam. It's like, you know, like when you show people The Evil Dead for the first time and you forget about the scene with the tree. There are a lot of fucking trees in this movie.
No, it's like watching an old. Well, I was talking to Jacob about this a couple episodes ago. It's like rewatching Dumbo and realizing that the crows are all horrifying black stereotypes, and you're like, oh no. Oh no!
Right, but that's like subtext, and like what's wrong with this movie is text.
Yes. There's no subtext in Golgo 13.
Jesus. So like we need to like for clarity's sake, like people aren't going to have seen this. Like this is old enough. Like we need some examples. Like what is wrong with this movie?
So
lay it on us, Sam. Come on,
God,
be a big boy. You can do this.
Well, I mean,
do you want me to do it? Do you want me to talk
about
it?
Yeah, let me throw it over to my co-host here.
All right, so there is an end for you, grateful, innocent listener. There's a character in cinematic masterpiece Golgo 13 who I think me and Sam sort of referred to as the Snake Man.
I don't know what his name is. It's just Snake Man.
It's just Snake, actually. You're just adding
there you go.
Yeah. He is a man with no teeth.
That's the most salient thing about it.
It doesn't make sense. Why is he a snake man with no teeth? I don't understand.
Well, I think what we boiled it down to, Sam, is he has somehow replaced all like he's got rid of all of his bones and replaced the necessary bones with like wooden jaw hinges and like weird sort of ad hoc like hollow bird bones.
You listening think Jacob is bullshitting you, but this is a pretty legit theory on this character.
And he basically dresses like Rusty Venture.
Yeah.
He's like a living rope, and that sounds cool. Like that sounds like what's his face from Hellboy. But his main price is raping the Vice President of Nova Scotia's daughter-in-law.
The antagonist of the film, the ostensive antagonist of the film, sells his daughter-in-law to a weird snake man for sexual assault, and it is like. And I mean, I didn't think highly of this movie in its regard toward women, but I was like, that seems a bit out of left field.
Well, here's the thing: like, this was the fourth sex scene we had gotten to so far. Me and Sam had put up a tally of like, okay, this literally leads in with Golgo 13, wooden mannequinning his way to completion. As he seems to like be this rigid glacier.
The first sex scene is just like, is he alive still? Did he die? And she's just a necrophiliac? Like, I don't know what's happening.
And, like, that's the one where, like, what's his name, like, comes in and gives him, like, intel.
Yeah, right. It's like, who are you? I'm sorry, I'm having an intimate moment with my lady friend whose name I don't remember.
Because I don't think that character had any name whatsoever.
We had a running... Well, we had a bet, Jacob and I, like, that the woman he's fucking... I was like, I will bet you $10 we never learn her name. And Jacob foolishly took that bet.
Well, I thought she was going to turn out, like, to be involved with the plot, and that was my mistake. It was my mistake to think that Golgo 13 would be consistent, because it's practically episodic. Like, the first bit is just that one sex scene. Then episode 2 is him going after Dr. Z.
The Bloodwaters of Dr. Z.
Or as I affectionately refer to them, Dr. Zaius.
Well, it starts with the president of Nova Scotia. His son gets his brains blown out on a boat.
Yep.
And that spirals everything. Eventually, we figure out that makes everything else unfold, but we don't realize that for like 45 minutes.
Then there's a weird scene with a priest and a guy, and like...
Yeah, because he hires a hit.
Yeah. And then there's the, like, nerdy redhead.
Oh, the gun runner. The one who imports guns.
Yeah, the importer-exporter. I said to Jacob, if he doesn't fuck this woman, I don't know what life is. Like, this is...
Oh, God.
He did not have to wait long, I tell you that, audience. You had to just, like, say it, I think, and then as soon as you said it... She was like removing her glasses and starting to get all hanky-panky. Mm-hmm. Talk about expert calling. So there's that infamous scene that like of our master assassin Golgo 13 setting up to like snipe some dude in like the penthouse apartment.
I love that fucking shot because he shoots through a building into another building.
The thing. They mentioned that, oh man, he's gonna he has to be in one of these two buildings, and I look to Sam through the
magic of the internet.
Yeah, the thousands kilometers I'm away from him, and I said, he's going to shoot through that building to shoot the guy.
Oh, fuck, I'm stupid. I didn't catch on to that.
No, I didn't get that either.
That came as such a surprise. And I've seen, part of, the half-hour series, and, that's all it is. All of the NC-17 stuff gets mostly edited out, and just, it's, 22 tight minutes of him doing something that's, logically impossible, and then the cops are like, oh, wow, that's incredible.
I was trying to figure out,
we can't arrest him, no one will believe it.
It's like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure of killers.
Holy Jesus.
Oh, man.
But I cut you off, because, even in that scene, it's just here's a guy, and he's a Nazi war criminal, because of course. And he never leaves his penthouse.
I kept wondering, and maybe you know, Chris, was this an anime that was culled together into a movie? Because it just...
I don't know. I don't think so.
There's no through line, really. I mean, there is, but there isn't, Is this just a clip show?
I don't know, because I've never read it, but I know it's a comic book originally. Yeah. So maybe it's adapting something of that.
And apparently the comic's really good. Just to make things clear.
Yeah, but it is really episodic. I don't know if that was an intentional thing, or if it's just cribbing some notes really awkwardly, or whatever else. This was my first exposure to this series. And there's another movie which is a little bit nicer, and they don't do CG for no good reason, which is also excellent.
Oh man, the helicopters. We almost had to stop watching because I almost fell on the floor with those.
Because they come out of fucking nowhere.
Reboot makes that CG animation look good.
Yeah,
Reboot looks great. Fucking at me, dude.
Reboot looks like the pinnacle of human achievement.
Oh god, and it's so jarring. So at the end, he's running up a 50-floor office building, which is which is sold as like being an exceptionally tall building for reasons which make no fucking sense. It's like he's on the 40th floor.
Oh my god!
Scenic Edmonton. No, okay, but midway through, like the movie suddenly cuts to like sort of pre-PS1 era CGI chunky helicopters that look like little green army men just like fucking swooping in.
All primary colors.
All that's bright primary colors, like like a bunch of lime green fucking super soakers.
I feel like the helicopters were like cherry red.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But it's like I
started singing like what's Money for Nothing. Like I just kept thinking of that, you know.
And it's so jarring because the quality of like the drawing in this film is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah,
like it's not super dynamic, but like
no.
Jacob and I differed on this. I thought it was all right.
Yeah,
there's some really dumb looking parts. Like, don't get me wrong, but like there's some neat stuff going on.
I think basically for me it's that if this were a comic, like, you know, it originally was, like a manga, I'd be like, okay, this looks fine. But as an animated experience, I just closed my eyes, wishing I was watching anything else.
Right, but like...
I would have taken Death Note over this.
But that was kind of cool. I kind of liked that, where it like where it's like working in a way that's like explicitly comic booky. Like, it worked just like excellent film, The Incredible Hulk starring Eric Bana.
Yeah, I was just... You know, it's funny. I have weird feelings. There's my terrible movie that I kind of like. I like the effort of the Hulk movie with Eric Bana. It's terrible, like by any objective standard.
I was
that
joking.
Awful, but I kind of like it for what it is. But the thing about this movie is every time, like at first there was a split screen. It was like they're just showing the same thing, and then it quadrupled, and it was like they're showing the same thing 8 times, and then they're showing the same thing 16 times, and then there was a sex. I forgot the sex scene with the fucking floor show lights.
I don't actually. Which one was that?
Called out, oh, it's going to go crazy when she orgasms. And sure enough.
People at home are going to be wondering what the fuck we're talking about. And you know what? If you see this movie, you will not know any better than we did.
No.
Can we back up a little bit to like the excellent like little throwaway bit where it's heavily implied that the antagonist killed Kennedy?
Yeah, right. Let's just throw out a picture of Kennedy here.
Because like that's like the whole premise to Golgo 13 is like you take James Bond and you strip out like all of the charm, all of the wit, all of like I'm gonna go gamble for England, and it's just like all he does is shoot people and he's fucking great at it. And the whole every single plot is just like thinking of new things to throw at him to demonstrate to the audience that he really is like super badass.
Yeah, right.
So, it's like, well, we can't just have like a guy who like runs an oil company. We need like a guy who runs an oil company and controls like the three police and the police and the military of the United States.
Despite being based in New Brunswick.
Yes. I don't know why we decided that, but that became...
Well, no, I literally remember what happened was the first scene of Golgo being in action is like him going up like this weirdly scenic. He shoots the son on the boat like from a lighthouse.
He murders some defenseless lighthouse keeper.
Yeah, and him driving up is like this really scenic, nice lighthouse. And I said, apropos of nothing, here we are in scenic New Brunswick,
Nova Scotia.
Yeah, Nova Scotia. Here we are in scenic Nova Scotia. And we just kept rolling with that because we were talking over the movie at parts.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry about this, Chris, that we didn't give...
We were not very respectful to Golgo 13.
Oh, no.
We apologize.
It's not very respectful to a lot of things. What did you guys think? What did you guys think of the twist? The twist at the end?
Oh, that the son assassinated himself?
He ordered a hit on himself.
I didn't see it coming.
I feel like
at all.
There were there were a few moments where we're like, okay, we didn't see that coming. That didn't make it good, but we didn't predict it. But my rational brain, which is maybe not the best brain to watch this movie, was kind of like, seems like there would have been an easier way of making this happen to kill yourself rather than like using international assassin / brick wall Golgo 13. But you do you, Goy.
/ collection of seagulls.
Okay, why are there so many fucking seagulls in this movie?
Vaporwave.
Well, no, we established this, Sam, like whenever Golgo has to make a dramatic escape, there are a bunch of seagulls. So that's where the theory came up, was like he dissipates into his natural seagull collective and escapes. No one ever suspects the seagulls. And then he like recoalesces onto a boat or into like a creepy Gothic church.
Man, I loved this movie and I hated this movie.
Well, what did you like, Sam? Because there's something that's giving you an A+.
So balls to the walls. It's madness. It's
because it's a spectacle.
Madness. Like the style is it so desperately wants to be James Bond, and it's got these weird 80s like glow lights and, like I said, the weird split screens that turn into quadruples, so on and so on.
And jazz everywhere.
The characters are ridiculous, and everyone's got their... No one blinks. like the campiness factor was like... That was the A+. Campiness factor A+. And then the weird, horrible sexual politics, like that's the F-. So I guess it evens out. It's like a C+.
No, give it a C.
Okay, I'll give it a C.
I can't accept you giving that a C+.
We do. We're giving it a grade together because we watched it together. So,
well, I want to give it a lower grade then. Like, I mean, it's not that I like. Sam has made me watch some shit, like some really gruesome, horrible shit.
You're never gonna forgive me for Mulholland Drive.
This was fun shit, but it was really terrible when it was bad. Like it was just like. But it's like The Room.
Yeah. There's an integrity to it
where you can even when it is at its worst, you feel like at the end of it, you've come out stronger. Like you've just something has improved inside of you. You're filled with determination.
Yes. To take a phrase.
Determination.
Determination to do what?
Yeah, what indeed?
Live another day.
Have sex with hot babes? I'm okay with that.
Like, I mean, remember, this is cinematic masterpiece, Golgo 13.
Academy Award winning Golgo 13.
When I left the experience of
when you
Golgo
left the
13,
cinema.
Yeah, when I went back home, I realized that I could be what I wanted to be. I felt that if that movie...
You could be Noah Taylor.
I could be Noah Taylor.
You just sit down at your little typewriter.
I could just abuse people who are nice to me and become a struggling, failing writer. That's my dream.
You just sit down, interior lighthouse day. Golgo 13 runs up the stairs, trying to keep the seagulls under his trench coat. He looks real cool. He totally wastes a guy.
The coolest seagull of all. So I think we can then say that definitively Jacob and I okayed this. But if we take the law of averages, so I think, gentlemen, we've moved on to what is our common theme this week between He Died with a Falafel in His Hand and Golgo 13, the professional.
Sexism.
It's got to start. No. We're bound to. This is the last D word.
What's D for sexism?
Douchebags. Which is probably me for liking this movie.
I was gonna say determination feels like the that was the byword we had going there.
Disappointing. like
Disappointing.
everyone's mothers are in them. The people I'm speaking of, the people involved in these movies.
Yeah.
Disappointing. I like disappointing.
Okay.
All right. Disappointing.
So, Chris, would you be so kind to give Jacob and I our letter for our second season of the show?
Sure. K.
Ooh, K. I like it.
All right.
It's a challenge. We could do that.
Silent K.
Silent K.
Special K.
Ooh. Well, there's your first episode.
Ah.
Oh man.
So yeah. Well, I mean, I was gonna say, enemy of the podcast, Jesse Cowell, is also a good friend of Chris, and I mentioned to him that Chris would be guest starring, and he was like, "Oh, perfect. Chris hate is funny hate." And you did not disappoint, my friend.
Well, he's still not going to listen to this, so I don't know why Jesse has an opinion.
I know. Well, that's why he's the enemy of the podcast.
As an aside, you need to get Jesse on the podcast and get him to sing.
Yes.
Because he sang in my wedding, and it was spectacular.
Well, we'll have the musical episode with Jesse.
Oh,
I don't think I could survive that.
Well, maybe we'll put a poll up online. We'll see what the people say.
Yeah.
I hate musicals so much.
Well, I'm pretty sure
musical possible.
I'm pretty sure we'll be watching a musical if Jesse comes on, merely because you have stated for the record that you hate musicals. Like, you can't escape it now. You are the architect of your own destruction.
Okay. Here's the thing, though. I know the exact fucking musical I would force him to watch. I just know it. I know what it would be. So at least I have something up my sleeve. I have a weapon on hand to defend myself from enemy of the podcast, Jesse Cowell. So,
at this point, Jacob, you and I probably should exchange our assignments for next episode.
For the
first episode of season K.
Of season 2. Season K, all right.
Season K.
So you should go first.
All right. So, Jacob, next time, you will be watching yet another goddamn documentary. You will be watching Werner Herzog's Grizzly Man.
No.
I told you there's no viewers.
All right, fuck.
What will I be watching or reading?
I remember you mentioning Grizzly Man to me, and I'm being like, oh, that really cool one about the guy who makes the grizzly suit.
Yeah. Well, no, that's a different movie, actually.
Yeah, and I remember sleeping through that movie while I was a teenager, and it was a great time because there was a whole interview with the filmmaker that I slept through. It was great. So Sam. Sam, my boy.
Yes.
Sam, my young man.
Sam the man.
I have put you on a quest.
Oh, Christ.
I have put you on a journey, a league of self-discovery. It started with Berserk. It continued with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Gotta stop with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
What other anime monstrosity I forced you to watch that wasn't those two? I know there was a third. Redline, that was it.
Yes, and Neo Yokio, but I don't know if that counts.
No, Neo Yokio does not count. Neo Yokio does not count for anything. You do not deserve a giant Toblerone, Sam.
Agree to disagree.
It has culminated to this one assignment, Sam. All of it has led to this. Sam,
yes,
you are going to watch One Punch Man.
Oh, fuck yeah.
One Punch!
Okay. I've actually heard good things about this, so I'm not too scared.
No, you shouldn't.
Is this the series or?
Well, it's a show.
I know that. I know it's many things.
Yeah, but like I'm not gonna have you read the online webcomic if that's what you're asking. Just watch the Netflix show.
All right.
Just watch it on there. It'll be great. You'll enjoy it.
Well, we'll see. That remains to be seen. We'll wrap up here. We'd like to thank Irritating Rainbow for our theme song, You Broke It, from the album Where'd the Truck Go? You can find that on iTunes, linked in the description. We'd like to thank Chris Felling very, very much for being our very first guest star.
Cheers.
On this, our season finale.
My pleasure.
We really appreciate it.
We appreciate it so much. In fact, Chris, what's your final thought?
Yes,
tonight?
give us you get the final word.
Oh, geez. Wow.
Put you on the spot, man.
Make good choices.
Think quick, because OG's is not a good final thought.
No, that was my final thought, is make good choices. Like, if there's one lesson we can take away from all of what we've been through together today, is that all of this could have been avoided if everyone had made better choices.
Make better choices.
In this veil of tears, make better choices. We'll see you next week, audience. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye, everybody. I hope you don't die.
Golden brown texture like sun lays me down. With my mind she runs throughout the night. No need to fight, never a frown with golden brown.